Subha Sanjay, Namaskara, Vanakkam. Happy to be here and yeah, sure, I'll take care. Thank you. Now, of course, it was expected because 5 o'clock closing note, half the crowd only will be there and that is clearly expected. There could be two reasons why all of you are staying back here. One, you are definitely interested in the sessions which are going to be further away, or your home is very close by. That's the because Bangalore traffic is something which we are all afraid of, and one of these reasons you are all staying back. Okay, my presentation is going to be on humans, machines and meaning 2.0. It's more philosophical it is going to be. So pardon me, I'm not going to get into any technical aspects of it. Meaning 2.0 is where I'm going to stress upon and then we will introspect. If you look at it, we had Arun Jagannathan training all of us in AA in terms of he was giving practical examples, how to log in, how to see, what is to be done and all that. Probably 2 to 3 years from now, a humanoid could come and take the same class for all of us. That is clearly possible. You don't need a human being to come and teach how to use AA. That is possible. Similarly, Ravi Kiran talked about charging, supercharging, EV charging stations and all that. And then when you look at it, few years from now, the same humanoid which taught here will go to the supercharger, charge itself. And probably either it may pay or may not pay. Okay, depending on who has trained that humanoid. Critical aspect of meaning 2.0 is going to be, two questions were asked. I'm not sure whether the person who asked the question about what will happen in future, will the world vanish, will the world collapse and all those scary worry about if the machines take over. That was a very interesting question that he asked. And the academic deception or academic cheating which happens or whatever be that was another question which was asked. Both these questions point to one very important introspection point. Ethics of the machines are going to be basis of ethics of the human beings. We are going to decide what the machines are going to be doing in future as well. The way we are going to be, the machines are going to evolve. So if the AI has cheated in a company or whatever that we say, there is some pattern, some way, some behavior that we are going to be inculcating that into the machines as well. So I'm going back to Dr. Devarajan because I consider him as my mentor, guru all the time from my early days in TVS. He made a very important, subtle statement that culture is going to take this country forward. It's not technology. He used the word culture is going to take this country forward. And that's going to be the meaning 2.0 which I'm going to be deliberating now in this session. I'll start off with the video. Can I have the video played?
Success is hard to define and harder to achieve. At Wipro Infrastructure Engineering, we redefine success every day. Because we strive for excellence through the vision of our customers who span the globe, whose needs are constantly evolving to create a new future. What we do takes a relentless commitment to expand the horizon of our potential, be it in a bountiful harvest, expanding access by achieving economies of scale, reaching for the stars, or touching back down to earth. The work we do touches the lives of millions. From helping our customers uplift the next billion through our hydraulic solutions, to helping conserve our fragile ecosystem by purifying and recycling water for industrial use. Our aerospace business helps millions touch down safely each day, while our additive manufacturing business helps our customers reduce manufacturing costs and time to market. Our automation solutions help our customers scale production to meet growing global demand. And our joint venture with Kawasaki fulfills our customers' hydraulic component requirements. Our recipe for success is simple, but not easy. We innovate across every step of the value delivery chain, as we partner with customers who seek nothing short of excellence to deliver unmatched quality at scale for industries across the globe. None of this would be possible if it were not for our committed team of engineers and specialists who push the boundaries of what's possible each day. It is a matter of great pride for each of us when our hard work is recognized, and it keeps us motivated to do even better. To expand capabilities, meet evolving needs, harness cutting-edge technologies, and engineer a brighter future for us all. We are Wipro Infrastructure Engineering.
Okay. So the reason I wanted to show this video is not to promote Wipro as a brand. That's not the purpose. Just to show the two facets of Wipro, because all of you are aware Wipro Limited, IT software company, 300,000 plus employees, global software organization, and this phase of Wipro is hardcore manufacturing. We have about 50 plus factories across the world. We supply, for example, Boeing, when it lands on a Wipro's landing gear actuator supplied by us, or hydraulic cylinders. Wherever Caterpillar is in the world, we supply hydraulic cylinders to them. Wipro Water or Wipro Automation. In fact, I was mentioning to Dr. Devarajan that the TVS e-scooter assembly line, the battery pack assembly line is supplied by Wipro. We do complete assembly line building for automation projects and all that. So basically, in fact, our chairman, Asim Premji, turned 80 yesterday, 80 years of his presence in the industry. He created both these phases, which is one is the hardcore manufacturing factories, starting from Chandrika to aerospace products to hydraulics, to a software area. So when we are talking about humans plus machines and 2.0, this is going to be the area of intersection between hardware equipments and the brain behind those hardware equipments. When you will look at it, what is meaning 2.0? Are we looking at that we are creating a superhuman in a machine, or are we going to be the superhuman over that humanoid? So that's the question of borderline question that we will continuously be evolving. Human beings as such, we have been evolving a lot, and we will continue to evolve. Whether for example, there was a question about answers being done through the AI. So I don't know how many of you are aware, International Maths Olympiad is the toughest exam, and Gemini Pro 2.5, the gold winner is this time is AI engine, and it is possible to crack such a complex mathematical problem is something which is unheard of in the industry. So it is evolving, and we have to be, we need not fear about it, but we have to be appreciative about it, and we should enable that to go in the right direction. Neuralink, another great activity which is going on. So far 9 patients have been implanted. This brain-computer interface is going to be the next wave of technology. So when we are talking about we giving intelligence to machines, this is the reverse of it. Machines are going to give intelligence to us. When I am going to be with Parkinson, when I am going to be with Alzheimer, when I am going to be with epilepsy, when I am going to be down and my nerve system is not going to work, my brain is not controlling my body, then this interface is going to make me still lead a useful life. So if I ask you that who climbed the Everest first, you will remember. If you ask you that who landed on the moon first, you will remember that. Similarly, we all have to remember Nolan Orberg. He was the first patient in the world to accept for a Neuralink implant. And he was able to communicate. When he's having a full paralysis, he was able to communicate through the chip which was implanted in his brain. So that is the dichotomy that we have to face. So machines are going to come inside us and we are going to give life to machines. Ethics is going to be the most important topic that we will see being discussed. And somewhere we will end up with the hybrid consciousness, because machines are going to get their own consciousness and our own consciousness which is there. These two have to merge together to evolve that ethics part of it. So when we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about IoT, we are talking about quantum computing, Bitcoin mining and all that. It is going to come inside us one day, and we will have to be prepared for that change as well. Humans are not machines, and at the same time machines are not humans. When we talk about it, when you look at human organs as such, millions of years it has been evolving. We were using our nails to cut, pierce, eat and all that. No longer we do that. The organs, if we reflect ourselves, what we were doing, say 30 years back in our childhood, in our school days, and what we are doing today is a big difference. Every part of our body, what we were using it, our children are not using it. Our children are not going to do a kickstart of a Bajaj scooter. They're never going to do that. Because that organ movement is not going to be done by them ever in the history. So, this nails to knife to gadgets, morphing, is something which we'll have to be conscious of. And we will have to. One powerful statement was made by the previous speaker. Professor Amresh Chakravarti was mentioning this, saying that we will lose the muscle power if we don't use the muscle, which is absolutely true. And what we were using the muscle power for and what we will be using it in future, that will morph. Same is applicable to cognitive muscle also. What we were using our cognitive muscle earlier, FX100 calculator, today I don't think you can even ask any student to use FX100 calculator. That's history. You can't use a camera which is that role based and then chemically developed. History. Things will evolve, things will change, it's beyond us. We don't have a control on it, but we will be able to engage meaningfully in directing it in that direction. So this is important element that we will have to remember. Similarly, not just the organs, the habits are changing. We used to have the arts and crafts that millions of years back what we were doing is changing. Carving to cursive writing. I don't know how many of the children today are good at cursive writing and they are all taught, and we ourselves have forgotten. Our own generation which went through a lot of writing, we ourselves are forgetting how to write. It's all about typing, and typing also will go away. Another 10 years you will see that nobody types in the phone. They will talk on the phone. So it's just that habits will morph. And similar way when you look at it, this is a classic example. It's not a political statement, but we all know content to context. That's where we are going to play a role. In fact, Arun Jagannathan, when he was talking about it, he made a very powerful point about core and the periphery in the AI, which is something which is the problem here. Because the translation, we are talking about AI has done such a great thing and all that. What stupid thing that the AI has done in terms of a translation, language translation, simple translation, it made a joke of the decade. When it comes to again meaning 2.0, we also have to understand the division of labor. Who is master, who is slave? This is something which is essential. So when typically we say these roles will get reversed depending on the context, depending on the situation. I used to weld early part of my career. I used to weld in the factory. I'm a trained welder. And then when we moved to large production areas, then we started deploying robots to weld. Robot welding is very standard today in terms of, and we cannot go back to that manual welding ever in terms of large structures being welded. So when we are talking about manual labor that we were doing, or we were making animals to do the job and we were doing it, now we are making the machines to do the job, still we will have to understand the difference between who is a master and who is a slave. We used to have a very interesting debate. A robot programmer, is he programming the robot, or is the robot is asking him to program? Okay, because robot programming job itself will change, because you don't need to program. Robot itself will program. So the Gen AI, the coding and all of them need not be manual going forward. So we said like manual welding, so the jobs will be lost, welders will lose the job. Then we said they will morph and skill into coding, or they will do the programming for robot. So we said like there is a skill upgradation. Now today, we don't need the programmer also. You just have to have the 3D job and the robot will decide what it should do and it will do the welding. So this master-slave dichotomy will always continue. We also, when we are talking about meaning 2.0, we also have to understand what is the difference between being physical and physiological. This is going to be a very critical difference in understanding the meaning 2.0. The statistics says that very rarely, as mothers, the lady is not trained to handle a newborn baby. She's not given a formal training. But we don't hear any stories of baby slipping from the mother's hand and getting injured. Doesn't happen. Nurses are trained how to handle a newborn baby, they are trained. But we still hear some stories of baby slipping from nurse's hand and getting injured. The difference is, it's psychological. The mother owns the baby and she will never let it go. So the difference between a mother handling a baby to a nurse handling a baby to a robot handling a baby, that is going to be the definition of meaning 2.0 in future. And how that cognitive alignment, cognitive balance is going to come is something which we'll have to watch. We will have to take this forward. Technology as it evolves. This is a clear example. In fact, professor from IASC was mentioning about the sensors and the optical sensors and all of them. When you look at the overall design, someone has made us, this machine as a human being is made by someone. And the kind of technology that has been put into this machine is something unbelievable. One example is this, just that hand skin. Okay, when you take a skin, we are now developing a neuromorphic sensor, which can replace the skin portion of it for a robot gripping application. So robot gripping application doesn't sense the pressure today. So we have a force feed sensor which is built in over there. So we try to take that. Touch sensing, the tactile sensors which we are developing. But will we ever be able to replicate a skin? Will we ever be able to replicate a human hand? We will be able to do, but it will take probably another 30, 40 years. We would have cracked many other things, but cracking this will be an issue. In fact, if I have to mention about the 5, I have to read it out because it's one, our human hand, when you look at it, pressure, texture, vibration, pressure, temperature and pain. All these sensors are there integrated in the hand. Elasticity and flexibility. It's so elastic. Skin is so elastic. You don't have a material which will be so elastic and so flexible. Because dexterity, that is there part of the overall human hand. It has a self-healing property. If there is a tissue tear, if there is a injury, it will heal itself. Dynamic signal processing and sensation. Because the skin sensors are always integrated with all the sensors of the body. I can close my eye and say whether it is apple or orange by touch. So the sensors are all integrated with the entire system to the brain. Moisture, grip, The microstructure, fingerprints. The uniqueness of fingerprints is a brilliant design. Even when you look at a password or a passcode which you give, we will say two-factor authentication, various things. But still it is a combination of numbers. Combination of numbers and letters. Whereas this is unique. No two human being has the same fingerprint. The ridges, the circular ridges, the combinations which are there is infinite. In fact, the theoretical estimation is potentially the mistake of fingerprint can happen 1 in 64 billion. That's the mistake level. And somebody has designed this machine. So let's believe in that designer, and because the meaning 2.0 convergence is going to be critical. So we, just to give a linkage to a Hindu philosophy, we talk about Advaita and Dvaita. Dvaita is duality. Advaita is oneness. So we say that Jiva and Paramatma and soul and body and all those complications. The duality is there today. The machines and the humans. Okay, duality will continue. Machines and the humans. Unless that superhuman or a superpower decides that machines are going to be the humans, replacing humans, and humans are extinct, so be it. So that design of cognitive convergence is something, meaning 2.0 is what I'll conclude. Basically, when you look at it, the empathy, creativity, vulnerability, and the machines. So when you get into, I got into Waymo recently, about a month back in Bay Area. It's a ghost car which is driving you. Just ordered a Waymo, you get in, driverless, you go. You always carry a fear. If it locks, if it stops, if I'm not able to get out, what will happen and all that. The car has senses about all around, who are all coming, what is happening, from where to where it has to go. Everything is there. But what is missing is, if there is a driver, he is going to be giving an assurance to me that if something happens to the car, I have one more human being along with me to assure me. That fear factor is something which we will continue to carry in our entire life. Entire generations will carry that fear factor. Am I going to have? In fact, Govind from Honeywell, he made a very interesting presentation on the autopilot and all that, and I was talking to him on the sidelines. So he was saying that accidents in the air are very, very few compared to accidents in the road. And I don't know why this Dreamliner and other accidents are getting so much, people get worried and scared. I was mentioning to him that probably we as a human being, when I am on the ground, on the Mother Earth, I feel more safe. When I am not on the earth, when I am flying or when I am in the ocean, there is a natural fear I have. Because I have limited people around me. I don't have the ecosystem of hospitals and various other things. So there is always a balance between the fear of human beings versus the technology growth. And as long as we are able to navigate it to a convergence in terms of thinking and feeling, getting into a convergence, we'll all be safe. I would say towards a shared future, human plus machines and meaning 2.0, robotic surgery is one great example. Because today the doctor is not sitting there and performing the surgery. He is more precise sitting in the computer, assisted by, of course, the nursing staff and others, but he is much more precise in controlling the robotic arm there. Because the human hand can still have that nervousness or last minute challenge. But if it is not there, this convergence is a beautiful example of meaning 2.0. Thank you very much.